Thank you very much.
Okay, hi. Thank you for that. Good afternoon, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'll be taking us on where and how to find solutions journalism stories and how to cover field responses. So I would share my screen now. Okay, can everyone can everyone see my screen?
No, not yet. It's still loading.
Not yet.
It's still loading.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, we are with me. We are with you, ma'am. We can't see your screen now. We can't.
Okay, I'm coming.
All right.
Sorry for the
No problem, ma'am.
Okay, so can you see my screen now?
No, it's still sharing. Still sharing.
It's still loading.
Okay. Okay. Please, when if you can see my screen, can you indicate to me, please?
All right.
So we still can see the screen.
It's still sharing. It does not display.
But can you see my slides?
No, it's just loading.
Is it from my network? I don't even know. Okay, I'll just start because I'll just give a recap of what solutions journalism is for those that are here for the first time and do not know what it entails. So when the slides are showing, please just tell me so that I can continue with my presentation. Anyway, so yeah, solutions journalism is an evidence-based reporting that focuses critically on how individuals, communities, or organizations are responding to a social problem, right? So, but that's like the textbook definition of what soju is. So soju is like, for example, covering when people like respond to a social problem. For instance, if you go to a community that does not have water, or let's say does not have a clinic or a hospital, and then instead of like telling people that, okay, this community doesn't have a clinic and a hospital, and this has led to so deaths, this has led to so like disease outbreaks and stuff like that. Instead of that, you talk about, okay, what people are doing. So yeah, if for instance there's no clinic, maybe a group of women put money together to send people that are ill to other hospitals somewhere. And that is what soju is. Maybe there are a group of people that would volunteer their cars to take pregnant women to communities where there are hospitals. That is soju. But the way I put it, you would think that, okay, I'm just like, soju means like just taking the good and ignoring the bad. No, it is not that. And people might think that, okay, soju is about the people. Like I said, maybe an individual is volunteering his car, or some individuals are contributing money to do something. It's not about the people. It's about what they are doing, the the actions they are taking. That's what you write about, and that's what solutions journalism is. So yes, solutions journalism is not about the people preferring the solutions, but about what the solution encompasses. So, which brings me to the 4 pillars. Are we together?
Yeah, we are with you, ma.
Okay. Can you see my slides now?
No, we still can't see the slide now.
Okay. I'm coming. Let me try sharing it again. So can you guys see now?
No, it's still loading as usual.
Okay. This is becoming frustrating, and I don't know, can Chinonso hear me so that maybe I can send the slides over to him?
All right. Yeah. We can do that.
Okay. Please, sorry for the delay. I will just pause for like 3 minutes so that I can send Chinonso the slides and he can share it with us.
All right, sir. I'll be waiting.
So, that
Okay, Chino so would share the slides now. So, but then I would just continue from where I stopped. So, yes, I stopped at Soju and the four pillars. So, for those of you who don't know, there are four pillars to solutions journalism, and every solutions journalism story has to have all of them. Some I've seen some that don't have all, but for it to be a strong solutions journalism story, it has to have all four. So the first one is response, and then we have evidence, and then we have insights, and then we have limitations. These are the four. So, but I'll explain what the four pillars are. So response, like I said, is not about the person, it's about what the person is doing. So yes, if there is a problem, what is the person doing to solve it? And then there has to be evidence. In it, I mean evidence in such a way that it's not by intention, it's what is currently on ground, like what is happening. So that's what I mean by evidence. It needs to show results. It needs to show the effectiveness of this response. Like, is it even going? Is it even for the problem? Is it responding to the problem? Is it for the people? Are people benefiting? Are people not benefiting? Because I think there's a common misconception about soju that is supposed to like benefit, it's supposed to work all the time. But there are sojus that there are solutions that do not work all the time. There are some that work, it was there, it can be covered. And then insights, that's the third pillar. Insights is showing that, okay, this thing is working. Like, not just saying, okay, it's there. Let's say maybe it's a community without water, and then you go to the community and then you find a borehole, and then there's water running and everything. And then you ask, okay, this borehole, when was it set up here? Coping. Now that you have water, how has it been? Now that you have water, how has it been? And
Sorry,
this
Zubaida, we
running.
cannot see the screen, right?
Yes. Hello?
Yeah, I was asking if we can all see the screen now.
no, we are seeing
Yes,
it.
you can.
Yeah, we can. Yes, yes. Screen is showing. So yeah, I was at Insight. So yes, you have to like ask them, okay, this running water, from when does it run to when? And like, how does it work? Do you line up, or is there like someone that distributes the water across to the community? So that's insights. You need to like investigate deeper to why that response is there and how it is being operated. And then limitations, like I said, some solutions do not work. Some work to an extent. So for those that work to an extent, you talk about what is the extent that they are working. That's the limitations. Some will tell you that, okay, there's a borehole here, but there are other communities that are surrounding us that do not have boreholes. So because of that, there are long queues of people wanting to collect water. And at the end of the day, these boreholes are not being used. They're not being used. are benefiting more, or some will save the stream and just get the water. Queues time, people are wasting so much of their energy just queuing for water and all of that. So that is what you stuff like that. So yeah. Yes, solutions journalism is often its investigative relevance, how is it being done, who it is helping. So yes, and why, yeah. So that's what maybe you should zoom out a bit because I can't see like the full screen. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay, let me just go on. So why is solutions journalism important? Why does it matter? So it provides a more complete view of society when we cover areas of human activity and means is if you go to a certain place where there has been hundreds things happening, something bad is happening, and then you go there and you just report about the something bad that is happening. Wherever there are human activities that shows reliance, and that reliance is how people solve problems. So if there's something bad happening, trust me, there are people that live there, or organizations, or a body of communities that are just doing something towards it. So if you don't tell the whole story, like us in solutions journalism say, you're burying human activity and the resistance and everything, and then you're perpetrating misleading beliefs. So and it drives social change. When people receive feedback that includes positive deviance, it enhances their capacity to solve problems. So yes, when you, as a reader, when you're always like reading about bad things happening and not good things, you kind of lose hope. But then if you're a writer and a reader, and then you write about the positive aspect of things, you kind of get like some kind of hope. You give people like hope, and then with your story, you can influence a lot of people to do something in their communities too. And it helps add depth and contrast and variety to our work, like as reporters and writers. And yes, as a reporter, like you get to have like a broader mindset when you go to a place to cover something bad, and then at the end of the day you see that okay, someone is doing something about it, and then you try to see that okay, in every report you make, you try to bring out that aspect that okay, yes, this thing is happening, but then um there's someone doing something about it, no matter how little. So yeah, so are we on the next slide? Next slide, please. Chinonso, next slide, please. Okay. So here, I'll just read it from my slide before the scroll down. Okay, so where and how to source for Soju stories. So there's always like this thing that people say that okay, Soju stories are like hard to find, they're impossible to find and stuff. But I just feel like it depends on your mindset. So sorry to bust your bubble, but there are no set guidelines. It just it's just a matter of perspective and your mindset. Like I said, if you go to the field to report something about something bad, you have to take a step back and ask, okay, if something bad is happening here and we're always hearing about that something bad, why are human beings still here? So you now find out that there's something being done. So writers and reporters should always ask themselves, is there a solution angle here, and pursue it. So no matter where you go to, and like no matter what the assignment is at hand, like you should always ask yourself, is there a solution angle here? And then you pursue it. So, and like I said, for every problem, there are solutions being proffered. So for every like report about negative things, they're individual. So it's just a matter of perspective, actually. Like I can't say, okay, this is the step-by-step guide to find a solution story. No, you have to like instill it. You have to be objective. And as writers, we are taught to always be objective, no matter what the story is, no matter how it affects us too. So it's just a matter of having that objectivity at the back of your mind and just like going with it and keep on asking yourself if there is a solutions angle, if there is someone solving a problem, if there are organizations doing something towards that. So, yeah, next slide. Stories for Sojo can be found everywhere and can be explored in every topic and subtopic. So what I mean by every topic and subtopic, it can be about elections, it can be about sports, it can be about health, it can be about climate change. Like it doesn't have to like stop at I've seen a lot of development stories for Soju, and it's commendable actually, but it doesn't have to stop there. There are a lot of topics to explore, and the more the merrier. So, and it can also be put out in different formats like text, audio, and videos. And yes, I've seen a lot of text too, and I would really like to see like more documentaries about like solutions being proffered in the community that has the pillars, the 4 pillars of solutions journalism. So you don't have to limit yourself to text. You can always like put them in, you can always do like podcasts, you can always do documentaries, you can do short videos. As long as they have those 4 pillars, it would be so true. So so yes, the last point here is it is important for writers to be open-minded. So yes, that's just it. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And the thing is, I know that reporting about something bad happening, I think that is what is mainstream, and that is what like attracts attention. But like I said, we're doing it just this justice to like ourselves and to humanity if we keep uncovering such stories and leaving out people doing something. So so next slide. Can we have the next slide?
Should I go down a bit more? It's on the next slide.
So yeah, the next slide is just a screenshot of a story I wrote, and this is like a personal account from me. I went to that community to because there was a fire outbreak in the community, and then I went to the community to like talk about the fire outbreak. But at the end of the day, because like it's a colony of like displaced people living with disabilities, you get to see people living with disabilities, you get to see people that are lepers, you get to see people with different forms of disabilities, and they stay in one place. And you know how like people that sorry to say, low people that with disabilities that live in income communities are usually accused of being the ones doing the street begging, especially around Abuja and stuff. So at the back of my mind, I just tried to like, I just asked the chairman, okay, like apart from, I know that there has been like sanctions towards like people that are street begging and all of that. So when you guys are not street begging, or when there has been like a ban on street begging, what do you guys do, or has the government done anything for you guys, and or has someone done anything for you guys to just keep you off the streets and stuff like that? So, and then he started telling me about this skill center that was built, and he took me there. I saw the skill center. I spoke to some of the people that benefited from the skill center and all of that. But at the end of the day, the skill center worked for a while, and then it stopped working. So, and then I kind of, like I said, solutions is not about good news, good stories, and all of that. So at the end of the day, I asked some, okay, what has the skill center done for you at the long run? And then they said, okay, the skill center was set up, and then we registered, we started going, some of us learned tailoring, some of us knew how to make soap and all of that, right? But at the end of the day, they just had the knowledge, and the center did not give them capital. So it was just back to square one with the street begging. So, and one of them even said that, okay, she owns the shop. So, but then because the skills center takes so much of their time, because they would go there around 9 and they will not leave till 5 because they're learning. And then at the end of the day, she can't even stay to her shop. Like she can't even attend to customers. She can't do anything. She can't even gain money because of the skill center. And so she abandoned it. So yeah, you could see that I went for a totally different report, and then I came out with this. And even though, like, yes, I tried to bring the solutions elements to it, I found out that there were a lot of loopholes. So next slide. Can we have the next slide, please?
Yes, the next slide is up.
Okay.
Questions, right?
Yeah. Before we move on, let's take some questions, please. Do we have any questions? Okay.
Hello, can you hear me? Good afternoon.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. Good afternoon, Abdulaziz.
Okay. Let me start off by saying it's a very good presentation, and I have learned I picked a thing or two about solutions journalism that I never knew before. But my question is, how has been the efforts, or would I say the struggle, to get solutions journalism into mainstream media? Because the focus is usually about different angles to the story, to the solutions journalism that you are proposing. I mean, as they say, bad news usually sells better than than this kind of solutions journalism. So how has been the effort? Is there a body or a group that is trying to push this into mainstream?
Yeah, absolutely. There are bodies, but the one that I know is Nigerian Health Watch. So they try to like train journalists like from across newsrooms, and then at the end of the day, you have to like make commitments to like establish a desk or a unit that will cover solutions journalism. So that's one of the organizations doing, and there are other organizations doing that as well. But if an organization does not propose this to your media organization or where you work and all of that, you can always propose. You can always say that, okay, this is what you have learned, and you need this thing to be like a part, like maybe weekly. Someone can just write a solutions journalism report and let it get published. If it can't be done weekly, maybe like twice in a month or something like that. And yeah, that's just it. But there are organizations that I know that have been working to instill solutions journalism into various newsrooms in Nigeria. And even if that is absent, I feel like no matter what, like you should try to like talk to your management and say, okay, this is what you've learned, this is what is going on now, and this is a new style of journalism that you want to be explored in your newsroom.
So is this entirely, how is this different from human angle stories and
Okay,
development reporting in general? Or does it fit in? Do they fit in?
Okay, the human angle you're seeing on the screen is just like where I published my story. I work for human angle, so of course, like I write for them, I report for them, and all of that. So that is why you're seeing this human angle stuff. Or is that not what you mean?
No, human angle stories, like stories that about
Okay.
soft
Okay,
stories, will I say? Or, yeah.
I understand. Okay, the difference between Sojo and those type of stories is once you incorporate those 4 pillars that I spoke about, once you incorporate those 4 pillars that I talk about, it is Sojo, and you can index it into the solutions journalism network and it will be accepted. The difference is just like putting those 4 pillars, making sure they are there, and then you have your Sojo. Because I can tell you that the first soju I wrote, I didn't even know it was soju. It had to take someone to come and see it. And then he said, oh, this is solutions journalism, a solutions journalism report. And then I was like, solutions journalism, what is that? But yeah. So as long as those 4 pillars, there's evidence, there's response first, then there's evidence, then there's insight, and then there's limitations. That's all. And like I said, okay, yeah, most solutions journalism are explored in development because, like I said, it's more glaring. Like you can go to communities and find this solutions journalism in the aspect of development. But there are a lot of sectors you can, like topics you can do solutions reporting for. So I hope that has answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. Is there any other question? Okay, I think there is a question on the chat bar. There's a question in the chat space. So, does the government play any role in improving awareness of Soju? I don't really know about that. That is the truth. I want to be very honest. I don't really know about that. But I know that there are organizations that do that. So yeah, I don't really know. That's my answer. So is there any other question before we move on? Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you very much for the insightful section. So my question is I so much like me like other people, so we have idea of about solution journalism before, but I believe this session has added me more knowledge about solution journalism. However, there's still challenge having a challenge with publishing our solution stories. So having some media platforms to publish so whenever you see like okay, this is a solution story, then you pursue it. So you have a go ahead to like to actually have the support of your organization that is providing the response. So then it will mean the media and that is ready to publish your work. So what are the advice? What are the advice you have for such? And if probably you have some platform that you can actually recommend. So that's one. Two is that whatever you have organization that are responding to a particular social problem. So however, you know where their responses are filtered. So but when you reach out to the organization, so maybe through text or call, they didn't respond to your enemies, you try to reach them, they didn't respond. Can you move ahead and you feel that you couldn't get reaction from the response provider?
Okay, so let me just repeat your first question. Your first question is if I can recommend media spaces like platforms that can take
Yeah.
a report you've written, a social report you've written, when your like media organization that you work for are not getting
No,
are
actually,
not
like
willing to
I
publish.
mean for freelancers.
Okay, you're a freelancer. So sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I can recommend the solutions paper. That's one. And I think Human Angle Media, where I work, they are also they take solutions stories. I think a lot of I've seen AJ English, that's Al Jazeera English, publish freelancers who have written sojo pieces. So yes, I think these are some of the platforms, but you could do your own research. It depends on, because you know like every media space has the type of stories they like to accept. So for Human Angle where I work, we 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 take stories that have like elements of conflict, humanitarian crisis, and development. So if you write any social story that has these components, maybe there was a conflict in a community, but some young boys set up
But
a security outfit, that's sojo.
now you get cash.
Can you mute? Sorry. Okay, so yes, if there is a development issue and then some people are solving it, you can easily pitch it to Human Angle. And then solutions paper has been accepting solution stories too from across topics and across all boys. It's a good place to also pitch your stories. For AJ English, I don't really know what are the criterias, but I have seen like a lot of people like publish their social stories there. So for your second question, please remind me your second question. Okay, when organizations are not willing to speak,
Yeah.
right? Like, like maybe you go to cover something and then sometimes it's possible to run your story without the organization saying anything. That's the fact, because like I said, solutions journalism is not about the person, it's not about the organization, it's not about the individuals in the story, in doing the thing. It's about what they're doing. So if you go to a community that has a chairman, he will provide you with all the information you need that the organization will give you. And most especially, it comes when people are talking of insights. That's where sometimes you might want to reach out to the organization to hear how they arrived at this solution and how it is working and all of that. But sometimes when you go to a community and you say you want to talk to the chairman, or you say you want to talk to their leader or something, they will tell you everything you need to know. They will give you beneficiaries of the thing. They would give you people that you're supposed to talk with. They will tell you, okay, this thing was installed here. in so year, in so month, and this is how it has been working. And at the end of the day, the story that I told you that I went to the community because of the fire outbreak, and then I ended up doing a solution story, I did not talk to the organization. I just spoke to the chairman, to the people there, and that was it. And I did my background like search from like Google, and I just took like the key things and I added it to my reports, and it was okay. So in most times you don't really need to talk to them, but there are specific cases that maybe you need to. And then if the person is not responding, I think you can just quiver it sometimes, or you could just do like a Google research. If it's an organization that has like internet presence, like maybe they're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, and like they update their websites consistently, you can go through that and you get the information you need. So is there any other question? Okay, on the chat bar, Tochi said, is there any media organization in Nigeria that focuses more on soju? Yes, I think I said SolutionsPaper is one. I think Nigerian Health Watch too. They focus on soju a lot. And these are the two that I know for now that just does soju and is a Nigerian media space. So these are the two. So I think we should move on because time is not by our side. We have like 12 minutes to go. So next slide.
Yeah, the next slide is on field response and what they are.
Exactly. So there's a common myth that soju is bias reporting and advocates for solutions. I said it earlier that people usually say, oh, solutions is PR, solutions is just like being just writing the good and neglecting the bad and all of that. There's a lot of things said about soju, but that's not it. Like I said, there are responses that work and there are responses that do not work. So, however, soju is rigorous reporting that though it is called solution, it could fail to solve the problem at hand. So responses are parts of solutions. Be reminded that no solution is perfect. Like I said, no solution is perfect. So you have to like bring in the limitations. Limitations is a pillar. So that suggests that nothing is perfect. So after like spotlighting your limitations, there are responses that just miss the mark. Like they don't even talk about the problem. They don't even see the problem. So what I mean by this is maybe since we're talking of boreholes, maybe there's a community that has water. They have running potable water, they have tap water, they have water that they can use. And then someone goes there and installs a borehole. That's not solution because they are not even suffering in the first place. There was no problem. They had it all. So if you're putting another borehole, you're just adding to what they have, but you're not solving any problem there. So I think that can be construed as a field response, but then I'll go deeper. So can we have the next slide?
Yeah, the next slide is up.
Okay.
Reporting on field responses can begin.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, reporting on field responses can begin with interviewing and examining those that were part of those that were not part of the intervention, or those who do not utilize the intervention for certain reasons. So when you're writing about soju, like sojus that work or sojus that work to an extent, you can start talking about okay how these 11-year-old boy now goes to school because there's now a school in their community, or how this 11-year-old boy can now read because someone is giving like basic education in social community and all of that. You can start opening by, okay, 11-year-old so does not know how to read because despite this thing being there, it has excluded them, or maybe the school decided, okay, we have enough students and you can't come in anymore and stuff like that. So you can start by that. So extensively discuss the reason why supposed beneficiaries are not benefiting, then assess from a reporter's perspective. It's not just about talking to people that do not benefit from it, right? You just don't talk about people that do not benefit from it. You have to take it a step further by like going and assess by yourself. If it means going there and just sitting and just observing, you would see that, okay, so amount of students are coming into a school, but then there are others outside. And then you have to like gauge, okay, those that are going in, what differentiates them from those outside? And then you have to ask questions, like you ask maybe the parents, okay, like why isn't your child going to school and stuff like that. So, and it is, so yeah, you have to be reminded that it is still a social story. So you have to put the 4 pillars there. Like you still have to discuss, okay, this was the problem. There was a school set up, but instead of children going to the school, they're still playing outside and stuff like that. And then, okay, this is why. You might find out that that school maybe is maybe a faith-based school, and those that do not practice that faith are excluded or do not want to be part of it and stuff like that. So that can be a field response. So next slide. So I would give you an example of another story that I wrote. So, so this story, Abuja IDP struggle with maternal health due to clinics' lack of privacy. So yes, this is a displacement camp that did not have hospitals. There were a lot of pregnant women and it did not have hospitals. But then someone came and then set up a mobile clinic. But when they set up this mobile clinic, it was opposite a huge mango tree where men go there to gather. So at the end of the day, these women that are pregnant or are expecting their baby anytime soon told me that there's another clinic like 4 kilometers away and they'd rather just pay for transport and just go there. And a lot of them were saying, okay, they can't come to this clinic where it's supposed to be free and it's closer and everything, but they'd rather just go there. And then I was just like, okay, why? Like, why would you go there? And then they were like, have you seen the men across of this clinic? How would I carry my big stomach and go to that place? And how would I be in labor and pushing my baby out, crying and moaning and screaming? And these men outside can hear me and everything. So that is a field response, because that response, it was done, but they didn't put into consideration where it was located and how it would be assessed and how it would be viewed. So you as a reporter, well, you're not the solutions giver. So your own is just to report. So yeah, can we have the next slide? So so yes, for reporting a field response, you just have to like gather your information, gather your data, and be able to put your two and twos together. What I mean by putting your twos and twos together, in the story that I just told you about, these were women from Borno. Most of them were displaced from Borno, some from Adamawa. So many of them from Northeast, Sha. So, and these are women that they are conservative, like in nature. They don't really like to, even at home, they barely like raise their voice for like their neighbors to hear. So, and this is a pregnant woman that is vulnerable. So you see that the things add up. If they say that they feel like they are not in a place that is private, it adds up. So yeah, analyze these reasons and find solid arguments around them. Like I said, if you finish analyzing like your beneficiaries and you see those that do not use these things, and then you try to dig deeper, like I said, these women were from the Northeast and they are conservative, so it all makes sense. So yeah, investigate deeper but remain objective. It is not your place to justify or be frustrated. Imagine if I went there and I'm just like, but the clinic is right here, why won't you use it? It's not my place. So it's, don't be frustrated about beneficiaries not utilizing something that is supposed to help. Let the solutions giver worry about that. So don't be emotional about it, just be objective. Use facts and data that you've gathered. Be thorough. It is up to you to gauge who are benefiting and who are not, and why, and the degree of balance between the two parties. So yes, like I said, if like the clinic serves like people that maybe would go for like, maybe I have headache, and then they will be given a drug, and then maybe someone injured, they would treat their injury. But at the end of the day, married women are not going, pregnant women are not going there. So yes, I wish that, okay, if people are coming here for small treatments, why isn't a pregnant woman willing to go to this place? And then yes, I found out stuff, and then even the person in charge of the clinic told me that the women have been complaining that the men outside, like, they are preventing them from coming here, and most of them would rather just find someone to take them far away for them to just give birth. So and there's a pro tip there, you can talk to an expert. So I wanted us to analyze the story that I was talking about, but now that my screen is not sharing, I don't even know how we would do that, because I know some of you would say, okay, how do I structure a field response story? So, and yes, I had it. I wanted to like share my screen, then we would go over the story, but I don't even know, but let me try.
Okay, so should I stop sharing so you try?
Okay, yes, please.
All right.
Okay, so I'm about to try share. Hello, can you see the screen?
No, not really.
It's still loading.
I don't even know what's wrong with I don't know if it's my network or if it's from my laptop or something. So I don't know, Chino, so I'll still send you the link of the story, then you just help us share it here.
So I will wait for Mrs. Zubaida's screen to come on. So the solutions paper is a multimedia outlet, leveraging solutions and constructive journalism to build civic engagement in development issues. So they work with burgeoning journalists to incorporate solution journalism into their reporting. They also offer trainings and media opportunity as well. And so you can follow them on Twitter at Solutions Newspaper, on Twitter at the Solutions Paper, and on Facebook at the Solution Paper.
Thank you very much for that. So Chinon, so I have sent you the link of the story. When you open it, can you just help us share it so that I can show you how to structure a field response?
Yeah, I've opened it. I hope you can see the screen.
Okay, the screen is blank from my side.
Oh, how about everyone else? Can you see?
Yes. Okay, so apparently it's just my laptop doing this thing. So anyway, can you scroll to like the bottom of the feature image? So like I opened it with, okay, Miriam Jacob is expecting her 5th child any moment from now. She is beaming as she looks down at her protruding belly, hoping that the baby will come out healthy and without complications during delivery. So yes, I gave a backstory of the woman. I said, okay, she fled so place in Borno because of the insurgency in 2014, and she left like her village. She went to Cameroon, and then she found herself in Abuja. So yes, I now give like a brief like description of the camp. When they reached the camp, they were relieved to find that it was a settlement with clearly plotted with complete houses with roofs for cover. So yes, usually in IDP camps like around the ones I've seen in the northeast are usually just tents. So, but in this case, they have like the building, they have like roofs over their head and all of that. So, and then they were far away from all the chaos in the northeast, right? But then at the end of the day, even with this situation, they didn't have a hospital. So I wrote it there. So I now brought in the response. In 2016, a mobile clinic was set up by so person, and um, and all of that to provide quick and affordable healthcare in the camp. Still, I said, Marian spent 300 naira on transportation alone to go for antenatal care weekly at a primary health center in a neighborhood about 4 kilometers away. So yes, I presented the person, the character, the person that is supposed to benefit from it most. I said, okay, this was her situation to show that okay, there was a problem that let her like left that made her left her this thing. So and I now gave like a backstory of the camp and all of that and how they came to the camp and stuff. But then I said, okay, this is the situation at hand. Then I said, she says that the mobile clinic has several issues, but the main reason she would rather take her business elsewhere is its lack of privacy. So I've already like said, okay, this place, okay, there's a solutions there, there's a response there, and there's a clinic and everything that's supposed to serve these people. But a lot of them are avoiding it, and they would rather take the complicated way of doing things than to do something that is simple. It's odd. So, but this is the reason. So so I now told a little bit of backstory of like how before the clinic came, women were delivering. Someone that used to work in a hospital when they were in the village was helping them deliver. So he would charge 10K for delivering girls and 15K for boys and all of that. And now there's a clinic that will say, okay, just come, just pay something like 5K, and then we'll deliver your child for you. And there's a health worker that would make sure you and your baby are healthy and good. So yes, I now brought I'm scrolling for my laptop. I don't know if I'm too fast. So sorry, I still can't see
No,
my
I'm
screen.
I'm going with you.
Okay, so I now said like the concept of mobile clinics. Like this is something that is supposed to give you like quick access to Like there's a hospital you have to like follow the queue and all of that, but this one is more of like if you go, you'll be attended to like more quicker than a hospital. It's like that's the general concept of mobile clinics and all of that. So yeah, that doesn't, yeah, so this is just like to add more context to what the general idea behind mobile clinics. Then I came to determinants for choosing maternal health care. So yeah, generally there's a determinant to where like pregnant women usually choose their health care, and it's the spaces, like how the physical environment is. Like every pregnant woman that has the choice to go to a clinic will tell you that, okay, I'd rather go to this clinic because they seem to have a cleaner environment, or the spaces are really good. And so yes, and so the WHO also has that determinant written out. Spaces need to be designed and maintained to allow privacy, as well as stocking of medicine supplies and equipment. So, and that is what I just said. So Miriam's claim of the mobile clinic's lack of privacy was corroborated by the healthcare worker that was there. So he said that many women often complain to him that they can't even, some would come for antenatal, but he would be expecting them to come when they are in labor, but they wouldn't come. And then he asked that, okay, what is wrong? And then they said, no, I can't give birth here because the tree outside. So yes, there's a picture of the mobile clinic on the left, and then there's the spot where men gather. And so yes, like I said, talking to an expert also helps. So if you want more like insights, like more arguments on why something is not being used, you can talk to an expert. So I talked to like a public health expert, and she also said that, oh, privacy is very, very key for women to deliver babies. For like people that are expecting babies, it's a very, very big deal for them, that privacy. And then if there are no privacy, there's something called the 3 delays that cause maternal mortality. And so it's the delay on taking decisions, and the delay in transportation, and the delay in having appropriate services at the facility. So yes, when women are delayed in like taking decisions on where they would give birth, and then maybe in transportation they are delayed, and maybe if they go to a place, to the clinic, and they are not attended to, it could increase risk of maternal mortality. And then yes, I just spoke to her, and even her, she said, even if it's me, I would not give birth to a place where there are a lot of men across the room. So that's just the argument. When you're covering a field response, be sure to make it 360. You don't have to justify from your own point of view. Like, of course, you're a human being and you know good from bad, right? But you don't have to justify it from your own voice. It's not an opinion piece. Solution journalism is not an opinion piece. So you can't just say, okay, why didn't the people giving the clinic consider that? Why are they not moving the clinic? That's not your place. You're just there to report. See, talk to people, observe, and report. But then if you want to give a strong backing to like what the beneficiaries or those that are not benefiting are saying, you talk to an expert, say that, okay, this is what is happening, and this is so. I've heard of a solutions journalism, but not, I didn't actually read the report, but someone told me about the report, whereby there was a borehole in a community, but women in the community still did not use that borehole. They would rather walk like a distance, like maybe for an hour, to go and get water. And at the end of the day, when the reporter asked them, okay, why won't you just use this one? It's closer, it's cleaner, you save your time. They said that they socialize on the way to the stream. That's the only time they get to see each other. That's the only time they get to catch up with their friends, on the way to the stream. And The thing is, it's not your place to say, oh, look at these women. Like, why would you do that? Can't you just, it's not your place. You talk to an expert, you talk to community leaders there, you talk to the women, and you just put out your reports. And that's it. So do we have any questions before we wrap up? Do we have any questions?
Is there anyone with question?
Yes. Good afternoon. I have a question. Can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. My name is Ella Kamal. My question is, you mentioned you're saying something about you can go ahead and publish a story without like intervene like certain people and all of that. Now,
Yeah.
I've come across some organizations that like they don't want all these reporters, journalists, and then publishing their stuff. So imagine like there was a story I was working on signing because it's an faith-based organization that focus on helping drug addicts and all of that. So they don't want the information of most of these drug addicts to be displayed publicly. So imagine I just write the story and I just went to the organization and then interview one of the drug addicts without the consent of any of the officials, and then maybe they now decided to press charges against that story and all of that. So I just wanted to just elaborate on that.
Okay. I think things that concern counseling or therapy or things that concern things of that nature, let's say patients, the person is sick or something like that. I feel like if you don't have the approval of the organization, you should not go ahead with it because this is sensitive content. I've had to drop a story about sexual violence too, because the organization, I spoke to the person running the organization at length. We did an interview. She was happy about it. But I can't take out the story if I did not talk to someone who has benefited. And then I said, please, I want to talk to one of the people you have counseled, someone that has been raped or sexually abused, and then you counsel them back to like feeling normal about themselves. And she said no. And that was it. I can't do anything about it because it has a sensitive nature. If you don't have consent for those type of stories, it's not worth it. It's not worth it you being sued. At the end of the day, how much would you get for putting out that story? So yes, like it's not worth it if it has that type of sensitive nature and you know that in your mind that if it was you and someone said something about you or your counseling process and stuff like that and put it out there, you would not feel good, then just don't do it. So, and are there any other questions?
I don't think there are other questions. Shag, we can take over now. Thank you, Zubaida.
Sorry, it's breaking. I can't hear you. Hello.
Is there anyone with any other question?
Okay, there aren't any other questions, right? So thank you so much for your time and thank you for joining us. But if you want to continue the discussion, I would put my handles, my Twitter handle, my LinkedIn name, so that you guys can reach out to me for any other things, or if you have questions later, you can just like reach out to me and I'll be happy to attend to you and answer your questions. And I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope that we will be seeing your pitches at Solutions Paper, and then we will be reading more of your solutions journalism stories. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Zubaida. Thank you so much for a good presentation. Thank you. Shagun, over to you. Yeah. Okay, I don't think Shagun is available. Thank you once again, Zubaida, for this wonderful presentation. I also want to especially thank everyone that has stayed with us to the end of this program. The last class, tomorrow's class, will begin by 1 p.m. and the link to that will also be posted across our social media handles. Right away, for those who want to join the Solutions Paper network of freelance journalists across Africa, I'm pasting the group link in the chat box now so that anyone who's interested can easily join in. Yes.
Someone is raising their hand.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it Abdullahi Haruna?
Okay. Yeah, you can unmute and speak. Abdullah Haruna, I can go ahead and speak or ask your question. Your hands are raised.
I think maybe it was a mistake.
Oh yeah, he has made another reaction. Okay. Yeah, so I just posted that link the group chat. Anyone who's interested can easily use that to join in. Thank you very much. And like Zubaida said, we are looking forward to publishing your stories at the Solutions Paper. Please also follow us across social media in order to get more updates. Our handles remains the same at the Solutions Paper. So see you all tomorrow by 1 p.m. Thank you all. Thank you once again, Zubaida.
All right, thank you.